Coming up now, Saving Wild Mustangs. We'll take you on a journey of preservation that's straight out of the Wild West. Ever meet one of these little critters? They're an exotic ring-tailed cousin to the American raccoon, but this one comes from south of the border. Can you guess what he's called? You'll find out. And our international theme continues with the Chinese crested. What makes them so unique? Here's a hint. Hair today, gone tomorrow. That and much more right now on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci, and this is my great buddy Zeus. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. We start off with an American story of survival, the wild Mustang. They are as much a part of our natural history as the buffalo or the grizzly bear, but sadly, many of them face a cruel and painful life. Fortunately, efforts to preserve and protect them are going well. Diane, we're here with these two beautiful creatures. I mean, this is the height of beauty, is it not?
It is.
Yes, and even though we're all about dogs, we do love our horses. And you have been rescuing these Mustangs for quite a while. Why did you do it?
About 28 years ago, I got involved with wild horses. And then about 16 years ago, I found that a lot of people were abusing them and misunderstanding them. And we actually became a nonprofit, and now we have a full center with about 57 Mustangs and some burros and dogs and pigs and chickens.
Mustangs are an American legacy with a fascinating and often controversial history.
The wild horses that we have out west right now are remnants from back in the 1500s all the way through time. And a lot of these horses are mixed breeds, from draft horses to cavalry horses. And the horses were free and running out there. And then in the 1950s, they were almost exterminated through Mustangers. They were rounding up the horses and they were selling them for chicken food and fertilizer. In 1971, these horses became protected by the government. Bureau of Land Management said that these were living symbols of the pioneer West, and they had a right to be there.
And in 1973, the Adopt a Horse program was started by the Bureau of Land Management, allowing the general public to adopt a horse at a very small cost.
Now, you got it wild, so that was the catch. Now, they gave you all sorts of requirements to have them while they're wild. And most of the people that have failures with these horses are not within the requirements.
Today, the Bureau of Land Management holds auctions all over the country. And although you can still purchase Mustangs cheaply, like any horse, they are a lot of responsibility.
They come in through the Bureau of Land Management, brings these horses to the East Coast with satellite adoptions, and that's how we ended up with the Mustangs.
But sometimes Diane is asked to step in and rescue Mustangs that aren't in the best of circumstances. And that's what happened with Hope.
Sadly to say, she was a rescue, a just horrible story of a rescue horse, her and two others.
Diane renamed those three starving and abused horses Faith, Promise, and Hope, because these Mustangs needed a name to live up to.
We always rename them so that they can have a new start. Hope was named Hope because it took 7 people to get her to stand up. She was literally a skeleton, and she had fractured her knee from falling down so many times, and she barely was going to make it. We hoped that she would pull through.
And pull through she did. 9 years later, as you can see, Hope is thriving, right along with her pasture mates, Faith and Promise. And Coyote, who was also badly abused, has an exciting and inspirational story as well.
She became a show horse at Arabian Nights. She's a great trail riding horse. She's very well mannered. She is part of the Black Stallion reading program. Odie is great.
Hope and Coyote and many other animals have a great life at the Wild Horse Rescue Center. But some wild horses never do adapt. So Diane has an amazing and heartfelt solution for those horses. Be sure to stay tuned. In the meantime, if you're interested in learning more about the Wild Horse Rescue Center or in adopting a Mustang, visit them at wildhorserescue.org. Mustangs at the Wild Horse Rescue Center originally come from out west, where most have had little or no human contact. At the center, they receive good care, are gentled up, and most of them enjoy people. But for some horses, it turns out less is more. The Wild Horse Rescue Center is set up as a volunteer destination, and people come from all over the world to work with the Mustangs. The horses here have a lot of room to roam, and the environment is quite natural. You haven't shaved those whiskers. Nope. They are as natural as can be. Why did you leave them that way?
Well, the whiskers are just like on a cat. They're feelers for her. So she has where if she goes at night and runs her face along something, those whiskers are going to feel a tree branch or bushes by the eyes and by the nose. So we live out at an area that is Lake Harney Woods. We're right on Lake Harney on the St. Johns River. So we have a lot of forest in that. So our horses are in very natural environment setting. So we leave them completely with their whiskers. Although Diane has made every attempt to help the Mustangs adapt to life outside the range, some horses simply cannot adjust. And when that happens, Diane goes to extreme measures to help horses, like Dixie. Mary Alice and I, my vice president, and Robin, a dear friend of ours, we went all the way to South Dakota last week. We took Dixie to Sanctuary. Dixie could never bounce out of it, even though she was healthy physically. Emotionally, she was always afraid. Every time you handled her, she never got better about it over the years. So these courageous ladies drove across the country to release these horses onto sanctuary land into the Black Hills of South Dakota. Here, these animals can choose to have minimal human contact or live in the hills completely on their own. After much investment in these horses, I wondered what it felt like for Diane to have to part with them. Oh, it is wonderful. It really is. No, you have a feeling of such giving. You gave back to them something that they really longed for. We took Dixie, Flicka, and Diesel to the Black Hills, and it's a feeling of thank you is what you get from the animals. We have so many wrongs that we want to right, especially in the animal industry as we know it. How important is this that the wild Mustang survive and be part of our ecosystem? Well, it's important for these animals. They were here long before we were here on North American continent. Even though most of the horses they call feral, meaning that they were brought over by the Spaniards, there are Mustangs that have different DNA that is nowhere else in the world but here in North America. These horses are like our buffalo, like our elk, like our deer. As different as people, some adapt to their new surroundings, and some were simply born to be wild. Like Hope doesn't care. She likes people. She doesn't need to go to sanctuary. She gets grass. She doesn't mind us brushing her and stuff. But there are horses that we have that don't ever get okay with that. And those are the ones that deserve to have their freedom back and have their life back. And so I'm a big advocate to have sanctuaries. We also should have our wild horses out there for people to see. So it really has changed your heart. It has. Thanks to people like Diane at the Wild Horse Rescue Center, these magnificent animals have a good life, whether it's at her center in Mims or back in the wild where they belong. If you're interested in volunteering to work with the Mustangs or would like to adopt one, visit wildhorserescuecenter.org. Don't go away, we've got a lot more to come. You'll learn about the South American cousin to the North American raccoon, the coatimundi, when we return.
Don't miss out on the Putting on the Poodle fundraiser November 1st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Michael's on East in Sarasota. There will be a specially prepared lunch by Michael's and an exciting live and silent auction. Don't miss the dancing poodles and entertainment with songs by Andrew Cadell and Carl Bowman from Bark the Musical. Valet parking is available. Tickets are $85 for individuals and $125 for patrons. Save the date for Putting on the Poodle fundraiser November 1st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Michael's on East in Sarasota.
Welcome back to Animal Outtakes, where we take you on an animal adventure. Now we head down south, really far down south, to South America, where we find a cuddly little creature called the coatimundi. We caught up with one right here in the States in this week's Animal Adventure. Coatimundi.
Coatimundi, yep.
An interesting name, an interesting animal.
They are. They're actually in the raccoon family, so this is a South American raccoon, pretty much.
Now she has quite a snout on her.
She does, like a little anteater almost.
Yes. Coatimundis use those long snouts to find food.
So she'll, almost like an anteater, she'll run that nose around and lift up leaves with it, look for bugs, different things like that. They have such a good sense of smell, so that's what they use that nose for. She's sniffing right now, just sniffing all over.
Actually, she reminded me of another animal dear to my heart. She actually has the nose and the snout of a very small dog.
Yeah, she kind of does, you're right.
Sometimes called a hog-nosed raccoon, their noses can be rotated up to 60 degrees in any direction. This relative of the raccoon is native to Central and South America, and they share many of the same characteristics as our own raccoons.
They like to be around water because they do like to put their food into water, just like a raccoon would. They like to clean their food before they eat it.
She's calm and gentle with Andrew, but just like our raccoons, you wouldn't want to tangle with them in the wild.
If you look, they have some pretty hefty claws, and she does have pretty big teeth. So she can cause a lot of damage. A lot of people really don't like coatimundis because they're known to be more of an aggressive animal. But I've had her since she was born, and we have a really good relationship. So she likes me really good, so I can interact with her, and it allows me to use her to educate people with. So I always like that.
Now she's a chirper.
That's a good sound. She can make other sounds, but that's her excited sound. She's happy, so she's making that chirping noise right now.
Happy to be in the arms of Andrew, whom she adores. Oh, she's giving you kisses.
Yeah, she likes me a lot. She does really well. She grooms me, she takes care of me.
Coatimundis grow to be about 2 feet long and weigh 7 to 13 pounds. They live in mangrove forests, lowland savannas, deserts, and tropical forests. They are omnivores, which means they eat plants and vegetation, as well as insects and even lizards, frogs, and other small animals. Andrew's coati is 4 years old and was the offspring of a coati pair that he rescued.
And when she was born, she was solid white, so we had to pull her right away from the parents because we didn't think she was going to make it. And we actually nursed her ourselves from a day old.
So for that reason, this one is cute and spunky. But in general, coatimundis do not make good pets and are better left in the wild.
They're not a super aggressive animal, but they're very protective and defensive. So if they feel threatened, then they can become pretty dangerous.
And how long do you think she's going to be your pal?
Well, she'll spend the rest of her life here with us, and they'll live, 15 years. So she's only 4 now, so she's got a good 10 years ahead of her.
And I bet if we came back, she'll be just as feisty as ever.
Oh yeah, she will.
Coatimundis are very social animals. They live in large groups called bands, which may be made up of 4 to 25 individuals. Most of their days are spent looking for food, grooming, or resting. At night, coatis sleep in the treetops. They have double-jointed ankles, which allow them to come down from the trees head first. Each week, we introduce you to a VIP, very important pet, that is. And this week, a cute little canine owned by a prominent doctor who thinks that this dog holds the cure to happiness.
That's little Lexi Lou. Here she is.
She is a little Yorkie teacup. She's about a year and a half, and she weighs about 3.5 pounds.
I love she just loves to kiss you. She just loves to kiss. And the first thing Bev says in the morning when she wakes up, she says, "Come and give Mama a kiss." And she'll jump right up and run right over and give her a kiss.
She stands on my chest every morning and kisses me, and I scratch her neck. And she's very verbal when she's hungry. You know, 11 o'clock at night, unfortunately, she'll stand on my chest and start barking at me, and I have to get out of bed and go give her something to eat. Because she doesn't have particular dining times. She kind of eats when she wants to. Yorkies, I think, are a little temperamental when it comes to their diet. You find a food that they really like, and then she's really hot for it for a while, and then all of a sudden she didn't want anything to do with it, and we had to find something else that appeals to her.
I've got a sling that goes over my shoulder, and it's like a little bag. You know, she just goes down in it. And when we go to restaurants or hotels, we just put her in there, and everybody thinks I have a broken arm. And then every once in a while her head will pop out, and then we're halfway through the meal, so it's too late for them to throw us out.
I want to point out that I have not pierced my dog's ears. These little stones that are on her ears. Our groomer, Metro Pet Salon, grooms her, and they apply a little dot of glue, and then they put the stone on her ears, so her ears are not pierced.
She has different color every week.
Yeah, and then she has a little bow tie here with a little heart that has her name on it and a telephone number, just in case she gets away from us. She's a very quiet dog. She's not very yappy. I know sometimes people think Yorkies are little yappy dogs, but she's really like a little person. We call her our grand puppy because we have no grandchildren yet. Yeah. Well, on occasion, you've taken him, taken her to home visits when he visits his patients.
I make house visits,
night.
And sometimes I'm watching her, and I'll bring her in, and she's, I'll have her in the bag when I'm checking the patient, and and she's, loves everybody. I've never seen anybody she didn't like. She just likes everybody, and she's not afraid of anybody or any dogs. She just thinks she's a Great Dane. I think when, as adults, as we grow up in our lives and our children leave, we have this void where we want to kind of nurture. And the other dogs were fabulous dogs, but she is just like a people person. I mean, she wants to be with you all the time. So it's kind of a way of taking care of someone, when your children are gone. It's kind of makes you feel good. I look forward to coming home every day so I can see her, because she's always happy to see you. I think whenever we're stressed out, I think she is our calming influence. She makes us calm down and appreciate the fact that she's such a great dog, and we love having her with us and be involved in our lives.
Don't go away. We have another really special dog of the week coming up. Ever wonder why the Chinese crested has no hair? Well, guess what? They actually do have hair. Get the rest of the story when we return.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Let SWC Properties sell your home today. Take advantage of this great market and sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. SWC Properties gives you the benefit of full-service marketing that sells your home faster with the fewest hassles. There are no hidden fees, and now for a limited time we'll list your home for 50% off. Wouldn't it feel great to save thousands and feel confident with your move? Give us a call for details or visit swcproperties.com and contact us for free information packet and find out why. It's simple. We just market your home better.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new adventure. And this week is wild with Mustang rescues. So this is not for the weak in pocketbook, as they might say. And the nosy Cotamundi. Look at the nose. The nose is amazing to me because the nose is moving around almost 90 degrees all the time. Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7. Now it's time for Dog of the Week, the Chinese Crested. This little guy gets a lot of bad press. The hairless variety, often called the ugliest dog in the world. But did you know some varieties do have hair? And hair or not, they're as cute as can be. This week's Dog of the Week is a double delight. Ginny Doris brought 2 of her champion Powder Puff Chinese Cresteds. You heard that right, Powder Puffs.
Ginny, we are here with 2 of the most beautiful Powder Puffs that you could possibly have. I have Cosmo.
And I have Liz, and she is the mother of Cosmo.
And these are Chinese Crested.
Correct. They are Powder Puff Chinese Crested versus the hairless Chinese Crested.
Now, we have seemed to identify the Chinese Crested as a little bit more identifiable.
Yes,
but these,
obviously the ugliest dog in the world most of the time.
Well, there is
the tongue hanging out the side of the mouth.
There's
yes.
no ugly dog, right? We are moms, we don't see that.
Ugly or not, these dogs are doing something right because they've been around for a very long time.
Actually, this breed goes back to the 12th century, and they did not originate in China. In fact, there was no dog looking like them in China. But they got the name of Chinese Cresteds because the Chinese would sell them to passing ships.
In fact, this dog is believed to have evolved from the African hairless dogs. Favoring small dogs, the Chinese selectively bred the African hairless to a smaller size. And as Ginny mentioned, the dogs were traded among sailors and merchants.
They don't shed. They're hyperallergenic as well. Both of these dogs are licensed therapy dogs, so they go to nursing homes and things like that.
Their gentle temperament make them good service dogs, but they make great house or condo pets as well. They're generally good with children, good with other pets, and easily trained.
Well, my dear, you are perfect, and you did a good job.
They both did a good job, and you'll notice we were sitting under cover. Believe it or not, the hairless Chinese crested dogs can get a sunburn, so many owners slather their dogs with baby sunscreen. It's not as much of an issue with the powder puff variety, but dog owners everywhere should be aware of possible sun damage, especially with their less than furry friends. Don't go away. It's time to see the doctor when we come back.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Ugly.
Fat.
Big eyes.
Dweeb.
Useless.
Things that should never be said.
Shut it down. We are all beautiful.
We are strong.
We are powerful.
Be loud. Be proud.
We have the power to put an end to bullying.
So go ahead, be you.
Be bold, be different.
Be inspired.
Choose to stand up against bullies.
Choose to be brave.
Choose kindness.
Choose kindness.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
So one of the big things we see on the ER in the season of fall and the sort of switchover of seasons here in this world of Sarasota, Florida, it is breeding time for rattlers. And it's also a pretty high rate of recluse bites that we're seeing. These two things are pretty devastating. So the patient, let's talk about rattlers first. So patient gets bit, the face swells up, a lot of edema. Usually they get bit in the face because they put their nose where they shouldn't, or in their front legs. And there's tremendous edema and what we call necrosis, trying to die, tissue trying to die because it's so sick and toxin is in there. So these animals need to get antivenom. The antivenom is formulated from either human or horse byproduct and needs to be injected intravenously to try to stop the toxin from taking over. Matter of fact, there's even a vaccine now, so if people live in an area like the countryside, like Dante's Den, they should get the vaccine to diminish the risk of them having such a nasty reaction. Very highly recommended. And the big thing that we have found lately with both the rattlers and snake bites of other types as well as spiders is a hyperbaric chamber. So these areas of necrosis no longer get good blood vasculature, they don't get oxygen. This is why they die off with a toxin on top. By giving oxygen with a chamber, we're pressurizing oxygen beyond the red cell carrying capacity, and it's diffusing in the plasma, in the tissue, and helping tissue recover. At this point in time, we've even had dogs that came a couple days after they were exposed. We're able to recuperate these dogs and turn them around completely with 0 scars, 0 wounds, and it's just simply phenomenal to watch this happen. Normally, something that could kill them is now turned around with antivenom and hyperbaric chamber and, of course, supportive care. With recluse, we even go beyond that. We use other drugs as well to help with the regeneration of the tissue and a lot of laser therapy to help with the healing and the pain.
You can watch full episodes of Animal Outtakes by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Just visit youtube.com/Animal Outtakes.
Well, that wraps up another week here at Animal Outtakes, and we hope you've had fun, learned something you didn't know, and understand a little bit more about our incredible animal friends. Until next week, I'm Marcia Panucci.
If you want 24/7 access to ABC7's breaking news stories, weather forecasts, traffic alerts, health reports, dining segments, local events, Suncoast View, and more ABC7 specialty programming, now there's good news. Introducing the free ABC7 channel on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Your 24/7 access to ABC7. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device and download your free ABC7 app now.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1. The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.